Welcome to Fierce Fit Feminine and Other F Words, a place where women come to learn how to improve their health, beauty, body language, and communication. I'm Christine Brunelli, and I'm your host, and today I'm giving you a sneak peek into my personal life, comparing the differences of opening a brick and mortar business from scratch to an online business from scratch, because right now, in the world, we're seeing the great resignation, the silent resignation. People are quitting their jobs, doing things online, and I am one of them. And I've been in brick and mortar business for 29 years, in the online space, just a handful. And I have a lot to share if you're thinking about doing the same thing. Are you ready? Let's get started. Oh my goodness, before I get into this episode, I have to let you know I owned a brick and mortar beauty salon in the niche of getting women camera ready. We did hair and makeup and eyelashes and everything from the neck up that would help a woman look absolutely stunning on camera for events such as weddings or job interviews or date nights or any other special event in her life where she might be photographed. And as I shifted into my online work, I've created an amazing one-of-a-kind digital course along with live coaching for me called Camera Ready Academy. And this course is for female business owners, female content creators, or other digital course creators who may have shifted into the online space realizing, oh my goodness, I need to show up on camera. I know I have to do these videos. I need branding photos for my website, and I don't want to. And I am here to serve you, to get you camera ready, to help you get camera ready. We're going to work on voice. We're going to work on presentation. We're going to work on hair for camera, makeup for camera, the best colors for your skin tone, branding colors for your clothing, full-on outfits, dressing for your body type. You name it, it is in there, and it is in waitlist mode. What that means is I am just taking names for people who are interested in getting more information, but not sure if they're a good fit yet. If that sounds like something you would love, the course begins on October 10th. People that get on the waitlist are going to have opportunities that others won't. For example, maybe some extra private coaching from me, and it can be in health or being camera ready, because that is what makes my course unique. Because I've been a chiropractor for 29 years and a beauty salon owner for several years, and I've combined my expertise at the intersection of health and beauty so that you glow from the inside out and you look and feel fabulous on camera. Do you want to get some more information? Go to the show notes, tap on the link that says waitlist, and you'll be added. In 2021, 47 million people quit their jobs. 47 million. Let me put that in perspective. That is over half of the population of the country of Germany. It's almost the entire population of the country of Italy. It is Spain. Imagine if all of Spain said, I quit. That's what happened. And they are predicting that by the end of 2022, another 20% of the population will be quitting their job. And they are all doing different things. They all went in different directions. But COVID definitely changed how people perceive work. And in some ways, I think it's really good. In other ways, I don't think it's really good. As an employer, I'm going to share where I think it's not really good. People lost their drive and their work ethic. They lost their loyalty to a company. They became loyal to themselves. And while, yes, I agree that we must absolutely be loyal to ourselves before we're loyal to any job out there, you set an agreement with a company to perform a certain service that you provide in exchange for pay, and putting yourself into that role 100% while you are there is what you were hired for. So I am all about, and actually in my beauty salon was all about, I'm going to develop you and I'm going to turn you into the best professional beauty stylist out there. And I have many of them. But if you ever find that coming here for work doesn't fulfill you anymore and you're ready to pursue something different, I'm going to help you do that too. But while you're here, while you're working with me and in my business, you're not on your cell phone. You're not distracted looking for jobs somewhere else. You're not messing around. You're in your job being the best at who you can be for what you were hired for. That's the part that I don't like that has happened. A business next to my beauty salon was a dry cleaner, and she hired a high schooler to work her cash register. He quit after 2 hours and said, "It's too stressful. I can't handle working with the public." And I'm laughing because my kids both work with the public. Now, they are children of business owners. I get it. They had a privilege of being raised by parents who own businesses. They were trained. They learned that dealing with the public is not a cakewalk, right? We have to learn how to do these things. But at the same time, there's this, I guess I want to call it a fading away of desire to produce work for someone else. There's this change in this great resignation where people don't want to work. They apply for jobs. They don't show up for interviews. They show up for work and ask for 20 days off before they've even worked the first 30. So in that regard, I don't think that's been a good thing. This great resignation, though, also had people home because during the pandemic, we were in lockdown and we revisited our values, didn't we? We thought, wow, I'm getting to know my kids more. I'm spending time with my kids. I'm actually connecting with them. I had time to be in my yard. I enjoy gardening. All of the things that happened during lockdown were good because it was an awakening. And so people were saying, I'm not getting in my car, sitting in traffic for 2 hours to go clock in, do a 9 to 5, and then get in my car in traffic, 2 hours to go back. No more. I'm not doing it. And I align with that. I say, you know what? That's awesome. What are you going to do? You can't just go out there and not have a plan. That 18-year-old who couldn't work 2 hours on a cash register at the dry cleaner, if he wants to do his own business, great, but he needs some training. He's going to need to learn what it means to build a business. Right now, you can have a YouTube channel and you can make $10,000 a month on YouTube. It takes a lot of work, but you can do it. You can be a social media content creator and you can get paid from the creator funds from Instagram or Facebook or TikTok. It's very difficult to make a big living that way. And it's very difficult to get brands to acknowledge you and say, hey, I want you to do an ad for me. You're going to be a needle in a haystack. It's doable. Yes, you can do it. But you're also going to have a time limit. There's going to be a time where you're not relevant anymore on social media. So it's not a secure position, right? So for example, me, I had brick and mortar business. I just sold my beauty salon in 2022. And also a chiropractic private practice that was over 20 years old in 2021. So now I've shifted all of my attention to building a business online. And I'm telling you, the learning curve is steep. It is a different ballgame. Some of it's the same. A lot of it is different. So here are the things that I want you to think of if you are in the position of going, yep, I need to do something. I want to get online. First of all, wherever you are in your work right now, if you're a brick and mortar business owner, you already know this. But if you're thinking you want to open a brick and mortar shop, let me just tell you, it is way more expensive. Statistically, you are going to spend way more than if you build an online business. Now, that may be worth it for you. If you have a golden idea, then I say go for it. You have to try it, but you need to do your homework. Do your homework. If you buy a business that's already in existence, you are going to have a lot of the foundation done for you. If you do what I did with my beauty salon, I drew it on a notepad, a floor plan of what I wanted. I found an empty shell of a space to lease, and I hired a contractor to do the build out for me. And I did all the decorating. I did all of it myself. But the expense of that and the time of that, the permits that are required, it is more than building a house. It doesn't just happen. It took from September of 2014 until May of 2015 for that business to open. Now, if I had power behind me, like maybe Starbucks, financial power, attorney power, someone that can pull some strings, it could have opened faster. But I'm a solo, right? So I did that by myself and it took time. I did all of the permitting myself. I did everything and it's doable. And I have to tell you, I loved it. It is so fun to create something from scratch that's your idea. So if you want to do it, I want to encourage you, do it. But if you're going to go from a secure position right now into building something like that, it is going to cost you a lot of time, blood, sweat, and tears. And not to mention how much money it costs, because just the floor alone for my 1,000 square foot salon was $7,000. 7,000 done by just the floor. And that didn't include the plumbing to get to the shampoo bowls. There was another 12 grand. You know, the money just goes cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. So building a brick and mortar is wonderful if you can get it going and you have connection in the community, but you better have a really good plan of how you're going to pay yourself and keep yourself sane in the building process, because there are going to be days where you just want to quit. Now, brick and mortar in the community, in some ways, I think is a lot easier to market. People drive by or they walk by. The Chamber of Commerce in your town brings awareness. You have word of mouth. You have school systems. You have moms. You have soccer teams and football teams and all of that can generate awareness of whatever business you're building. So the marketing, the guerrilla marketing, the organic, face-to-face marketing that doesn't cost any money is so easy. Takes time, but it's easy to share what you're doing in your community. Now, if you're in a big city, let's just use New York City or Chicago or something like that. It is going to take more effort, but once you're there and people find out about you, if you're delivering a stellar product or stellar service, word of mouth hits the street and you're gold. It takes time. So you're not really going to be breaking even if you build a business from scratch. You might have some cash flow, right? And you're getting money in. Maybe you took a loan out to build out the interior, but you're not actually profiting until all of the debt that it costs to build that business is paid. Then you're in the profit margins. Then you're talking about, okay, this is how much I can make in my business. This is what I'm profiting. And all of the homework to get to that point needs to be done before you build your business. How long is it going to take me? How many employees do I need? What does my fee structure, what are my pricings, what does all of that need to be? How many units do I have to sell just to pay my rent or my mortgage if you own the business? All of that is taken into account when you have a brick and mortar. My favorite part of a brick and mortar was building a team. I love it. I did it in every business I've ever had. I've had 7 brick and mortar businesses, and building teams for all 7 was my favorite part. I shouldn't say that. I loved the design of my beauty salon. That was super fun, but because I had never really done something, everything I had done was chiropractic offices, which they're not as pretty, right? I got to have fun with granite and crystal chandeliers, and that was super creative and fun for me. But I loved the team building. I love putting people in positions where they shine, where they are doing work they enjoy, and it makes the business hum. That is so much fun for me. So I love the personal interaction. I am definitely an extrovert. I love talking to people. I get energized by it. And being immersed in your business, if it's a brick and mortar, immersed with your clients, knowing what it is they need help with. How can your business help them? Getting into those conversations is your golden ticket. Because if you know where your clients or your potential clients are struggling, you can create a product or service to meet that need. So if you're in conversation and you're talking to them all the time, and you can go, like in a hair salon, for example, we're doing hair, and I had a client that said, my eyebrows, I just can't see them. They've all fallen out. What do I do? Help me. I could refer her to someone who did microblading. I didn't have microblading in my salon at the time, but I went, oh my goodness. This would be amazing if I could add microblading, which is a semi-permanent tattoo service for eyebrows. If I could have that here, this is a need. And she wasn't the only one. There were multiple, but that's what sparked the idea. So you see the brick and mortar business marketing piece and learning how to provide for a customer so that you can make it super successful is huge. Being in it face to face. If you buy a franchise and think you're going to build it and be an absentee owner and you've never owned a business before, I want you to have a wake-up call about that. That is a dreamland dream. They will promise you that you can do it, and maybe eventually you can. But if you don't have any business experience, you need to be in that brick and mortar, working it, being with your employees, learning every single piece of the service that you're providing in the business, because you need to know what you're asking your employees to do. So I have a friend that just opened a franchise salon. And she's going through it right now. She's going through all of that. She thought she would be an absentee owner, and her goal still is to be an absentee owner. But she's not even close yet. She feels like she can't leave. It's very difficult. So your brick and mortar, the requirements to get it built are there. It's more expensive and it takes a long time. And then you're not turning a profit very fast unless, you have a miracle. It's going to take a long time for you to pay off the debt to build it out, pay off the mortgage that you paid to buy it, all of that. But if you buy an existing one, you have some cash flow right away, hopefully, if it's healthy. Now, let's switch that to online. Let's say that you want to leave your work and start an online business. Maybe it's an Etsy shop. Maybe you're an Amazon reseller. Maybe you want to be a digital course creator. Maybe you want to be a health coach online, a relationship coach online. You want to start building an online following and an online business so you can work from home. I did that. And I'm going to tell you, I'm a few years in, and it has been a really wide-eyed learning experience for me. It's not as easy as I thought it would be. And I'll tell you why. Because I can't talk to my people in person, one-on-one, the people that I'm serving. It requires me to be on social media and in groups talking to them there. I am full extrovert, remember? That is difficult for me. I don't enjoy being on social media all day. I don't. My goal is to have an online business manager that does that for me. So here's what you may not know. If you've never started an online business, businesses that are highly successful and operating online, if the woman, let's say, is a face of her business and she's been there for, let's say, 10 years or more, maybe 5 years or more, she has someone that's creating her social media content. She has someone that's posting it, and she has someone that's commenting for her as if it's her, and someone that answers her DMs and private messages. That's how it works. That's the dream for me. In the beginning, though, I can't do that. And this is why. I'm in the point of getting to know my clients and my customers. I need the conversations. Where are you stuck? What do you need help with? How can I help you? If I hire someone from wherever, Philippines or who knows, India or New York City while I'm in Seattle, it doesn't matter when you're online. They can be from anywhere. But if I hire them to go in and be my voice and be me online, I'm going to miss a whole bunch of information because I'm the one with the business idea. I'm the one with the expertise that can help the person, so I should be the one talking to them. But here's the cool thing about it. You can get in there on social media and start this for free. It doesn't cost you anything. My very first online business was an Instagram account and a Yahoo email address, not even Gmail. Seriously, this is what I did. I went out, I was doing health and wellness coaching. I created some documents in my laptop. I had a coaching outline of how I could help women with health and wellness. And it came out of my chiropractic practice because I had already been doing wellness coaching in the practice. And I took it to the online space because I wanted to be able to expand my reach. I can reach more people if I'm online, can't I? Well, then if I turn it into a group program where I'm not one-on-one, I even expand it more and I expand my earning potential. So you can do this very simple. And I want to encourage you to consider that before you get into all of the expensive, crazy setups that you see a lot of people have. If you want to start an online business, first thing you want to do is your due diligence. And what that means, and you would do this for your brick and mortar as well, find out what's already in the market that you want to serve, what's out there. Then decide who you want to serve. Who is it? For example, in my brick and mortar beauty salon, I just wanted to serve women of all ages who needed hair and makeup done. What is yours? Like right now, I am serving female entrepreneurs and content and course creators who are camera shy. That's very specific. You want to narrow it down so it's not a big net. don't throw a big net, because the market online doesn't respond to that. Brick and mortar responds to that. Amazon is the only online business, I think, that can really get away with that. You need to go out because it's so noisy online. You need to get in there and decide, what do I want it to be? What am I going to do that's going to set me apart from everybody else? And then start a social media account for that thing, share it with your friends and family, ask them to share it with your friends and family, and start creating a system of how you can help people or what you can make and sell. Start creating systems and use email, free email service to get started. So that's at the very basic, lowest cost of entry online business you could do. You would have to go in and get a business name, set up an LLC if you want to, or a sole proprietorship, whatever, have a business bank account, all of that set up, a payment processor through PayPal or Stripe, those kinds of things, set up your business name, and then you're ready to do business. Make sure that you realize when you do that, yes, it's a low cost of entry, but how much do you have to generate to match the salary that you're making right now? So whatever product it is you're selling, you're going to have to figure out the price point and think, okay, I have to sell this many units of either a coaching package or a physical item, whatever it is you're doing. I have to sell this many a month to match what my current situation is. So you want to be thinking about those things. And I would say my biggest learning curve with online business is that if you're not a technical person and you want to move out of the very basic, like I just explained, that's how I started. Now I've moved into signing up for platforms that help me build digital courses, and there's costs involved. So the cost of building a brick and mortar business might be $100,000. The cost of building a digital course might only be $600. Do you see the difference? It's huge. So you can spend a lot of money in online world, but it's not ever going to match how much it costs you to spend to have a brick and mortar business, ever. It's so much cheaper. But it's hugely saturated, isn't it? There's a sea of noise out there. You're looking in your social media right now and you see all of these ads flying by. That's because these people think that you are potentially a target customer and they want to get in front of you. And they are paying to get in front of you. They're paying the social media platform to get in front of you because this is their market. This is their city, their town. Like my beauty salon was in a town, and I would get into other businesses like hotel chains and give our pamphlets and our flyers. So we were on the rack. So people knew, oh, there's a beauty salon here, or wherever. I would, meet people and market that way. Well, on social media, there's only so much you can do for marketing for free. Certain groups don't let you in for free. Your feed with your personal friends only want to hear your candles and essential oils so much. Sorry, not sorry, but it's true. They don't want to hear everything I do all the time. They're my friends. They're not my customers or my audience. So you have to start thinking, am I going to need to invest money in advertising? So now I have to get to that point. These are the pros and cons. I'm just trying to get you to think about the difference. And for me, the biggest aha is I thought it would be just me. I could do this. I sold my brick and mortars. I have all the time in the world to build this online business by myself. I'm going to tell you, this has been one of the most challenging seasons of my life because of a couple reasons. One, I'm in an area I've never been before. So I'm learning tech. I know nothing about tech. I don't know about integrations and automations and all these words they use. Now, if you're techie, you get it. You know what I'm talking about. But I did not know, how to create an email address from a website and how do you have an email service provider that's not Gmail, Yahoo, or any of those other ones, but it's actually connected with my website name. And all of the sequencing emails, these are words I'm using that I just learned in the last 8 to 9 months. I didn't know any of that. So the learning curve is steep. I thought I would do this all by myself. And up until recently, I have done it all by myself. I'm getting ready to launch my digital product into the world. So I've created a digital course. I'm so proud of it. I worked like a maniac to get it exactly the way I wanted it. And it is going to be tweaked and redone and tweaked and redone. But the technical part of getting this course out into the world is slightly overwhelming. And if you are someone who is not techie and you want to get your voice or your product out in the world, you'll experience this too, because there's only so much bandwidth. All of my creativity that goes into being able to help my clients and the people that I serve is being sucked away into technical stuff. And the number one thing, copywriting. I just met with a copywriter. I had a 1-hour phone call with her, and I realized I can speak the language of my client, but a copywriter can write the words around my social media and around my product to make women understand that it's something that's going to help them. Where I write it and I just say what you would say about your business. And this is amazing. You're going to look and feel fabulous on camera. And this is everything that you're going to do and have and be and all of these things. And a copywriter is like, whoa, 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 no, that's too many words. We don't do it like this. And I realized, oh my goodness, so I probably should not be launching this without hiring a copywriter. And so now I'm in the pipeline with a copywriter. Here I started with just me. Remember, cheaper, low cost of entry. I bought a platform. I have not paid to advertise on social media yet, but it's coming. Copywriter. And then I'm going to be doing live webinars, teaching people about what I do. And while people are in the chat on webinars, if you've ever taken a masterclass or a webinar, did you know most of the time the person teaching is not gathering all of those questions? They have a technical virtual assistant who's in there helping them field those questions and saying, okay, here's all the questions from your webinar when you have a Q&A after. Now I'm looking at hiring a technical virtual assistant. So these are little compared to brick and mortar, but it is something that I'm realizing I am not in my zone of genius, trying to be this solo person with a low cost of entry getting into the online space. I want to focus on everything I can do to help my female entrepreneurs, my tribe, because I relate to you, help you look and feel fabulous on camera because I know how to do that. And I want all of my attention 100% to be on you. Not on, did this email sequence fail? Why did it not connect to the web? All of that stuff. So now I'm hiring it out because it's overwhelming. So this is the difference between brick and mortar and online. When you build a brick and mortar business, you know that unless you're a contractor, you know that you're not a plumber. You know that you're not an electrician. You know that you're not a drywaller. You hire all of that out. Well, in the online space, when you're building a business, and you think it's going to be so simple and be this, I'm going to do this all by myself, which I was gliding into that, the solopreneur. My girl, you can't do the electricity, the plumbing, the drywalling for your online business either. And those would be your technical integrations, your advertising, your copywriting. If you are a one-woman show, you're going to have to do it by yourself for a while. But after you start generating some revenue, you're going to want to hire that out because I'm telling you from experience, I got to the point where I wanted to throw in the towel and go, I can't, this is insane. I thought this was going to be online, free startup, right? I can do this. It's easy. It's not. It's not easy. And I don't mean easy like walk in the park. We all know starting a business takes some guts. It takes some tenacity. You have to show up when you don't feel like it. But I didn't realize how much, and I'm a super determined person. When I am focused, nothing gets in my way. But I realized I wasn't enjoying myself anymore, that I got out of touch with my ideal clients of who I want to help because I was so wrapped up in building the electricity, the plumbing. I'm using that of what it would be if it was brick and mortar, but I got too wrapped up in it. And so for you, I want you to be thinking about that. If you are considering leaving a job to start an online business, You have to lay it all out first and have a business plan, know what you're looking at before you leave your current job. Don't just jump ship because you have some security right there. You can jump ship if you have some savings and you can coast. I would say 6 months. Maybe if you could coast 6 months, because the learning curve is steep. It's going to take some time. Okay, so now let me give you some statistics of studies that have been done that have shown different statistics about brick and mortar versus online, because this is something to consider. If you want to build a brick and mortar business or if you want to build an online business, these are really interesting to consider so that you can make the decision that's best for you. This information is from a website, zero.com, so I want to give credit, but they did a study comparing brick and mortar versus online businesses. They compared financial performance, workload, and stress. And these are just the key findings. I'm not going to give you the whole thing. You can search for it yourself online, but I will add my 2 cents of my experience too. So far, I would say I align with what they found. Profitability. 70% of online businesses have higher net profit margins. 70%. Yes, because you're not paying rent for your space. You're not paying a mortgage payment if you own your space. Commercial rent is absolutely through the roof. If you don't know, it's a lot, just so you know. And if you see those big strip malls with maybe attached to a Panera Bread or a Starbucks or a grocery store, those are commercially owned properties by conglomerates, almost all of them, unless you're in small town USA. They own multiple properties across the US at least, and they will spend thousands to save pennies. They will nickel and dime you as the small business owner because you don't have the people and the power behind you like Panera Bread and Starbucks to do heavy negotiating, and you will pay a lot to be there. You will pay a lot to be next to a Panera Bread. You will pay a lot to be next to a Starbucks. I did that. Rent alone, plus something called common area maintenance. Common area maintenance is when they do landscaping, they paint lines in a parking lot, they take care of maybe painting a building, all of that. Just common area maintenance for my little spot that I had, 1,000 square feet, was $1,000 a month, a little bit over that. That's not even rent. That's just for every month. $1,000 a month. So $12,000 a year went to my landlord for common area maintenance. You can't negotiate it. That's a written in stone kind of thing. Now you can negotiate your rent in your lease agreement. You can negotiate all kinds of things in your rent and your lease agreement. For example, in year 1 on a 5-year lease, my rent will be this much. Year 2, if they want to increase it, and by year 5, it caps out at this. So you know what your expenses will be when it comes to rent. Well, at least in the experiences here in Washington State, your common area maintenance it just says in your lease agreement that you're responsible for whatever your bill is. They don't have to, there's no cap. They can charge you what they want. And that happened to me where my common area maintenance bill went up, increased 50%, but by $500 during lockdown because they decided to paint the building while we were in lockdown. Yep, they did. And so why, and you can go through all of the decisions on why businesses do what they do because they are also a business, but it's something to consider if you want to open a business. Now, I will say you can find landlords who are not big conglomerates where you meet them one-on-one and they're actually human and they will set you up for you to succeed. They will write a lease that is a win-win. When you get in bigger strip mall type properties where you're next to big companies, it's not set up for you to win. It's set up for them to cover the cost of that property and they're giving you the space in exchange for it. So you just need to know that ahead of time. When you build your online business, you don't have any of that to deal with. So yeah, your profit margins are higher. Okay, let's look at this next key finding. This study found that 49% of online businesses are side hustles, not full-time careers, while only 20% of brick and mortar are side hustles. So you can see where you can open a side hustle online business and maybe keep your regular stream of income going, but it's really tough to do with a brick and mortar. Okay, so the lifestyle, the workload, let's talk about that. Only 4% of experts say there's a reduced workload as an advantage for having an online business. Isn't that interesting? So this relates to stress. So owning a business, whether it's brick and mortar or online, the stress level is still there. There's only a 4% advantage for the online. So don't think that leaving your 9 to 5 and opening a business is going to make you less stressed. If you have a boss that's abusing you, yes, I get that. But the pressure, now you're an entrepreneur. Now your paycheck depends on you. Now your employees, family, their paycheck depends on you. All of that pressure is a lot to consider. So there is only a 4% benefit to having an online business. So you need to be aware of that. Let's talk about the economy. How is the economy and maybe this recession that we're being told is happening or is about to happen, how's that going to affect it? Well, this was the interesting determining factor. How are clients or customers going to price compare? So they basically said, the experts said, brick and mortar are going to suffer more than online businesses. But online businesses are at the risk of suffering because people can price compare your product or service to someone else's if they're already in the online space. If you're a brick and mortar space and you're a restaurant, for example, people, and you're maybe the only Mexican restaurant in town, it's harder to price compare because you might be the only one in town, versus if you are selling health coaching online, there's a glut of health coaches out there. They're going to price compare what you offer in a downward recession to someone else. So now it becomes a factor of not maybe looking at your competition so much as what are you going to offer that's going to be so irresistible to them that they only want to work with you. That's where you are the difference maker. That's where you're going to make it through a recession. And you can. And I fully believe owning your own business during a recession is not a bad idea. Why? Because you're not going to get laid off. You don't have a boss saying, we just aren't selling, we're not making it, we can't use you, and so we're going to lay you off for a while. You get to be creative and you get to say, we need a swimming pool, I'm going to go create something. That's just what it is when you're an entrepreneur. And you can find where the market in your niche is moving and you can create it. There is a saying, if you can make $100 online, you can make $1 million online. So I really do believe that if you are thinking about leaving your 9 to 5 and starting your own business, right now, opening a brick and mortar business might be a little risky. I'm not going to say not to do it because I believe you should pursue all of your dreams, but the financial risk is less if you go online. So in my experience, I would say right now, online is more attractive. In the first 2 months of me building a brick and mortar, I wrote a check for $50,000, just a check for 50. That was before, no bank loan, no nothing. You just write, the money just flies out the door to build a brick and mortar business. Building an online business doesn't have that same risk. And now we're seeing that online businesses are even more safe in an economic downturn. You don't have less stress. It's still your own business. It is easier to bail on an online business. It's easier to quit. If you want to liquidate a brick and mortar business, it's tough. In the United States, the average time on market for a business to sell is 9 to 12 months. So if you build a business and decide you want to sell it, you're looking at 9 to 12 months to sell it. And that is about right for me. I was on the market for 9 months before I found a buyer. And you have a lot of people that come through and they're interested, but it's not a right fit until you find the right fit. And so it is something to think about. If you open a brick and mortar business, it's really tough. It's tough to open. It's tough to sell. If you open an online business, it's easy to open and it's easy to close. So in my experience, I would say online is definitely a place to be. How do you market it? You market it a lot on social media. And right now, marketing is on short form video. It is literally everywhere. They're like TV commercials, except you're not saying, buy my stuff, buy my stuff. You're just using value. You're sharing something. For example, I might say, hey, if you're a little tired, try this makeup trick to make your eyes look more refreshed. Bam, done. That's a 7 to 15-second video I did that helps my audience learn from me. So that's how I build my my like, know, and trust factor. So that is where an online business takes some time to build your audience until you start spending money for advertising, but you can get started right now. And by the way, if you're a female getting into the online space, even if you have a brick and mortar and you need to update your photos for your website, or you want to go online to promote your brick and mortar business or your service business, maybe you're in person doing services and you're camera shy, I'm your girl. I can help you. A digital course that I'm releasing at the end of this month. Actually, this is coming in September. So the end of this month, the course begins in October. You'll be able to do it in the convenience of your own home from whatever device you like to use. It's recorded lessons with assignments, but a live coaching component that goes with the course. So I teach you how to set up your personal brand, how to decide what your business brand is, your image on camera, how to speak on camera, how to use the lights, the camera angles, all of that. And by the end, you are confident on camera and you're able to market yourself. And if you can't make those coaching calls live, you get a replay, so that's okay. Anyway, if that's something that I didn't expect to say in this episode, but if it's something of interest to you, go to the show notes and hit the word waitlist. That's the link there, and you will be added to the waitlist for more information. So I hope this helped you kind of sort through your thoughts and your ideas on leaving your job to either open a brick and mortar or start an online business. I've done both. I love both. If you're an introvert, I would definitely say the online space is for you. If you're an extrovert, the online space can be challenging because it can feel lonely, but it's also way faster and easier to turn a profit. If you have any questions, I'm always here. My inbox is always open. info@christinebrunelli.com. See you next time. If you've been listening to this podcast for a while, would you please go to Apple and hit the stars and give me a review? Hit the stars, like 5 stars or something. Give me some indication that you're enjoying this podcast, because that really helps me know if I'm serving you well. I would love to hear from you. Again, info@christinebrunelli.com is my email address, or you can find me on social media by my name, Christine Brunelli. Until next time, have a fierce, fit, feminine, and fabulous day.